Hi, it's Allison again, and I just wanted to show you two of my very favorite beneficial insects. I should say mites, because mites are not insects. These are arachnids. These are little baby spiders. So these are your predaceous mites, which go after a number of things, but namely in greenhouse production, thrips and fungus gnats, and some of the other soil-dwelling creatures. So to begin with, we've got the trade label here that says Stratia, of course, but this is a Stratiolaelaps schimatus, and Stratiolaelaps have also been known for years as Hypoaspes miles. So that's kind of an old name. Some of the European companies will still call it that, but strat mites are what we call them. And our favorite combination on the planet is what we call strats and coots. Stratiolaelaps, the soil-dwelling mite, and Amblesius cucumerus, which is the foliage-dwelling predator mite. So the strat mites, they are, you'll get an order in, you'll be thinking like, what am I going to do? Where am I going to go? Oh, I have an untreated crop of a bunch of vegetative plants or young foliage, and perhaps these are on tight spacing. So you walk out into the grow, you've got these kind of warmed up to room temperature, you've given them a little toss, and off comes the lid. And you may not see them right away, but they're strolling around in there, and they're embedded in, basically this is a wood fiber and vermiculite blend. So these guys are in there. There are 25,000 in this. This 1 liter would cover as much as 1,000 square feet easily of propagative material or young plants that are not under the mist. And you're just going to go out and do a light broadcast, something like that. And then these little house plants, you don't even have to worry about doing this. They're really going to fall down through the foliage, find their way down to the soil, and start working their way through the soil. So they will be there. So if you were going to take these little plants and pop them up into, say, a 1 or 2 gallon, then at that time of transplant, you might want to add more, because as the volume of soil increases in your grow area, you want to be able to volumetrically keep up with that with the strat mites, especially if you have problems with fungus gnat pressure that might build at time of transplant, or in some crops like cannabis, week 2, week 3, fungus gnat explosions. You also might be worried about root aphids. Well, we're not going to make big claims about who's attacking root aphids, but they would be part of an augmented treatment program if you were working with other things like drenches and that kind of thing to eradicate root aphids. Okay, so that said, those are the strat mites. They're super popular, and they're the baseline of almost every biological control program in greenhouse management. And they're fine to use at many temperature regimes and under many conditions. The cucumerus are really great too. So again, they are in a little bit different substrate. These are in straight vermiculite, and there's 50,000 cucumerus in here. These are foliar mites that just creep through the entire canopy, and they go after thrips predominantly. And you can apply them like this, loose, just with a shaker. And again, just like I did, warmed them up and turned them and put them out like the strats. The strats are working their way down to the soil. The cucumerus mites, they've got their own habitat. They're going to hang out in the foliage. So let them do their thing. These two work together like mutt and jet. They're just great pals. So they're super complementary to one another. And lastly, cucumerus and Andersoni and Swirsky mites all act a bit like the cucumerus mite. They're generalist predator mites, go after a variety of things. Very similarly, we have Swirsky mite. Swirsky mite can be popped into foliage, usually as tucked as well as you can, if at all possible, out of direct light. Those will hatch out, and they'll walk out of these breeder sachets, and they will hang about for 4 to 6 weeks. So especially if you can keep the humidity up in the growing area. We can talk more about this personally if you want to visit our tech sheets on our website. That explains a lot. But these Swirsky mites will eat thrips, they will eat whitefly, they will go after spider mites, they love spider mite eggs, And it's great. It's kind of an all-purpose sachet that's used very, very commonly throughout horticulture these days. So if you see these in your hanging baskets that you buy at the nursery, that's what you're buying, is an inoculation of predator mites. So these are the real good guys. So thanks so much. Until next time.